Hi, it's Sean McCann from Stan James. Welcome to the preview of a very big weekend of football. FA Cup 6th round, of course, is the highlight. And Chelsea are the 11-10 favourite to Aston Villa, 4-1 Spurs, 9-2. It's 11-1 then for the Blues of Birmingham, and also Fulham. Fulham, of course, we put up at 33-1 before the third round, and it's 18-1 bar. We kick off all four on ITV, of course. I think that is the first time. Portsmouth 6-4. Is it almost their fate? Portsmouth, of course, some people believe that the actual catalyst for the demise, financial demise of Portsmouth, was their success in the FA Cup under Harry Redknapp, but they played very well at Southampton in the last round, and they've got a home tie against the Birmingham City side. This is a Birmingham City side, of course, who've been drawn away all three ties so far at Nottingham Forest, Derby County and Everton, and the first half performance at Everton was one of the highlights of the season, unfortunately, as an Evertonian for me. Portsmouth 6-4, Blues 8-5, 11-5 the draw. The last Derby FA Cup final, I don't count Arsenal versus Chelsea in 2002, was Everton versus Liverpool back in 1989. Ian Rush 2, Stuart McCall, of course, 2, both substitutes, 4 goals from the substitutes, the second time in 4 years that Everton and Liverpool had played the final. Is there a chance of Villa and Birmingham City contesting the final? We're 14-1 at Stan James. Of course, they've got to get through this weekend's ties. Of course, there could be a replay, of course, but then they've got to be drawn against each other. We know Chelsea are vulnerable. Let's get it right. That Spurs, winner of that tie between Fulham and Spurs, I think probably will go joint second favourite with Villa. That, of course, is if Villa get through. Villa got that. Reading again, this almost the story as well. They, alongside Portsmouth so far, I think, have been the story of the FA Cup. Fulham are 7-4 against, I think, the tie of the round, I've got to be honest. Fulham against Spurs 11-8 and a draw at 9-4. Just can't. It was 0-0 at Craven Cottage early in the season. They've got a really good record on the banks of the Thames. Fulham got that cracking result against Shakhtar. They've gone through against in a tie that very few people thought they had a chance in the last 32 of the Europa League against a Spurs side. Peter Crouch, who do you pick? Jermaine Defoe was substituted at half-time. Peter Crouch came on, scored 2 goals. Roman Pavlyuchenko, of course, was in goal scorer. Has been in great form. Scored, of course, the first goal against Everton. But there's always that wonderful vulnerability about Spurs, of course, which they showed in the second half. And I would probably just favour Fulham on this occasion. Reading 3-1 against Villa, 4-5. The draw 12-5. Villa, were they unlucky at Wembley? I mean, he should have been the man of his. He should have been sent off. Some of the football was good. I was slightly disappointed as well that they didn't give more of a fight to United when they won 2-1 down almost again. You know, Rooney's extraordinary sequence of headed goals, which again we were 7-1, of course, at Stan James that he'd scored at Wembley in a header against Villa, and of course 7-1 again, and he just narrowly failed to score against Egypt with a header that flicked wide. Chelsea 4-1 on against Stoke Nines and the draw 4-1. It's a big game for both sides. Stoke, I think, a chasing experience. They've come out and defended, quite rightly, Ryan Shawcross, but the bottom line is 7 yellow cards, now 1 red. And again, there are some things going around, if you see a challenge on Adebayor and also maybe a challenge on Francis Jeffers, that maybe Ryan Shawcross, I think this is a big experience for him, and to get in the England squad, I think it's been an extraordinary week for them. Chelsea, of course, were pitiful, no other word for it, pitiful against Manchester City last weekend. The whole JT Bridge theatre, pantomime almost, but I think they should get back to winning ways. But I certainly wouldn't be picking them at 4s on. In the league, Arsenal 7-1 on. The momentum is behind Arsenal, you think, and 7-1 on. Can they do it? Can they win the league? Everyone's saying they can win all these games, these easy gimme games. Well, Spurs away and Birmingham City away, I don't think they are, but they should beat Burnley, who are at the moment 2-5 to be relegated from the Premier League. It's Hull then 10-11. I had a quick word with Phil Brown, the manager, this week over something racing, and I think it's fair to say the Hull are confident, and so they should be, that they'll survive. It's 11-10 then for Wolves, and Wolves have got a home game 10-1 against United. And you know, when you think Wolves, they got beat by Chelsea, they've beaten Spurs, okay, so far this season. I know Man City have beaten them. They've got a 0-0 with Liverpool, and I think they'll be very, very tight. It'll be difficult for United to break them down. My bet of the weekend is West Ham United. We've been saying for a couple of weeks now that West Ham are in a false position. I think 5-6 against Bolton, 7-2 in the draw, 12-5. That is the one. But the big story is the FA Cup 6th round. A wonderful weekend, and I'm afraid the Blue of Everton weren't there. But is it just possible? First derby since 1989. The Birmingham derby at Wembley in May. 14-1 with Stan James. Be lucky.